I was just told this morning, just coming into meetings and stuff. I think I took it all right, but it's obviously disappointing.
Based on how you played Sunday, what do you feel like you accomplished?
I think I put myself in a lot better position than I was last year. Obviously went out and showed people that I had the ability to play. At this level, I think I made improvements from where I was last year, and that's what I've been continuing to try and tell everybody, and really harped on throughout the course of throughout the off season, throughout training camp, and first couple weeks of the season was just continue to get better, show progress. I think that was the thing that showed up on Sunday.
Were you surprised that you went back to Josh, given that you won the game Sunday?
You can look at it in a couple ways. You can also look at the way that Josh was our starter. Josh got hurt, and it's the job of the backup to come in and fill that bridge till the starter gets back. So, there's a couple ways to look at it really, and that's the way that I'm kind of looking at it right now. Is I did my job as far as bridging the gap in between while Josh was out.
Is the hardest part not knowing how long it might be until you get back on the field?
No, I think it's part of it. You never know what could happen. It's a crazy season. It's a crazy league. So I'll be ready when that time comes if it does.
You seem pretty disappointed. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right going through the day. We just got done lifting, went to practice and everything. It's a little bit different, obviously, not getting all the reps and everything, but it's part of it. It's obviously I'm not going to sit here and say that, I love the decision, but, I respect Coach Pat, and, that's the guy that makes the calls for this team, and I'm going to, be a team player and do what I need to do from here on out and be ready if my number's called on Sunday, if it's called the next one, if it's called 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever the case may be. So, I felt like they went out and did some good things, but, like I said, I bridged the gap whenever I got my chance to go out there this week, and that's what we needed. Our team needed a win, and I was the next guy up. We got the win.
Your one game got everyone excited, the 2 home run balls. What percentage of your total game have we seen?
I think I missed some things the other day, so I still want to go into a game situation like that and make all those throws. I don't want to be sitting here today and say that I missed some opportunities, but I still think there's obviously a lot of room for me to progress. Just is my game in general.
Do you feel like this organization still expects you to be the starter one day, the long-term starter?
For everything that I've heard, I've been told by whether our GM, our owner, everything that I've heard, that's still the case. So it'll probably be better suited for those guys. But as far as I know, yes.
In terms of what kind of a step, a full game plus a win, plus decent stats and so forth, the whole 9 yards of the other day, how much of a quantum leap, if it's anywhere close to that, was that in your career?
Yeah, it was a better start for my second year. Obviously, I think that's what it was. Better and progress from where I was in the 2 times I got to go out on the field last year, which was huge.
Johnny, last week you said how good it felt to be the guy all week, that come up to you in meetings or what have you. Will you perform going forward? Do you perform better when you are the guy? Do you need that, knowing that going into a game that this is my team and I'm starting and nothing else is going on?
Well, in my situation, I think, there's going to be times where something like the Jets could happen, and I don't want to say, I didn't get the week of practice. That's no excuse. I need to be ready to go into a game like the New York week and try to come out and get a win like we did last week. That needs to be the bottom line. There can be no, I have to have a full week of practice, have to have this. When my number's called, whatever that could be, I need to be ready to go and make the plays that are needed.
John, even though you're not going to get a chance to keep the momentum going as a starter this coming Sunday, do you think that this past game can be a stepping stone for you to improvement, to greater things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it showed that I could make some of those throws and still continuing to grow as a player. So I think that definitely showed on Sunday.